Michael Paul, that was just fabulous. Just fabulous. Thank you so much. It's just beautiful. And that impossible dream is what each of us every single Sunday come here and listen to, what is in our hearts. What is it that we are wanting to bring out into the world of experience, to manifest? And all month we're talking about practice, exercising your soul. And in our faith tradition, soul means our consciousness, that part of us that builds the manifestation of our dreams. And today's title is Exercising Catch. Playing catch is how I've been practicing. My title for you is Playing to Catch. So sorry, it's not exactly the same as it is in your program, but playing catch for me is a really great metaphor for what we are to do in our spiritual practice. It is not only about practicing catching and throwing, like playing catch. And for many people, well, let me just see it by a show of hands. How many of you, either right now or in your past, have played catch just for fun? Played catch. See? Almost all of you. Now, if you ask me, I would be the last person putting my hands up because that to me was torture, not fun. Why was it torture? Because I couldn't do it. I did it badly. And anything you do badly, you probably don't want to do a lot. You probably don't want to recreate something that is not done skillfully. I had told myself I wouldn't use that word bad anymore, because it isn't really bad. It just wasn't skillful, and it never got skillful. Why? Because I didn't practice it. Why? Because I didn't practice it. And I was reading last night that you can teach a young child how to play catch. And you do it by starting with a big, round, something like a balloon that isn't going to hurt them when it lands in their face, because this is how I played catch. Every single time for years until I didn't have to do it anymore. I either closed my eyes or protected my face because this something was coming toward me faster than I could control it. So I didn't know how to capture it. And I think that's also true spiritually. That, this broadcasting system that is the divine presence has been broadcasting individually to each one of us forever, since we were born. And many of us didn't recognize it. We didn't know how to catch it. We didn't know how to welcome it. And so we denied it. We said it's not real. It's not so. I got a wonderful email, several wonderful emails this week, some of you telling me what you're doing to practice the principles, and that couldn't make me happier. I'm really happy about that. It's like, not only are they listening, they're practicing. Yahoo, this is great. But I got one that was, the person that sent it just said, this is a short story, short true story. She said, I was going to go to the bank, and it was a certain bank in Laguna Beach, and she said, and I knew I wasn't supposed to go. So I didn't go, and found out right at the time that I would have gone, there was a robbery going on. That's playing catch. That's listening to that divine broadcasting system that's saying to you, do this, don't do that. It won't give you a reason. It'll just tell you, this is what's needed from you now. Now, I've invited, our teens are going to share in just a minute, but I want to set up a little bit because most of you know, but not all of you, that the teen camp that they go to every year is located in Idlewild. So you now know something else, that not only were they at camp, but they had to be evacuated from camp. And I think that they played catch very well. They're also probably pretty good at the physical thing, but as far as listening to that presence, and doing what is needed in the moment. I've heard nothing but praise about these young people and the advisors. So I now want you to really, with honor and pride, welcome our in-flight teens. Come on, show them you love them. Come on up. I'm going to sit down so you guys can.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it on?
Yep.
Okay. It doesn't sound like it from here. They've asked me to go first. Actually, we usually don't have all of our teens share, but they all wanted to share about their camp experience. But just wanted to kind of start and fill you in at our process over the last week. We went to camp last Saturday on the 13th, had 4.5 wonderful days of the camp experience, which they're going to get to tell you all about. And on Wednesday, and we watched smoke for a few days. Actually, very beautiful that smoke could be far away. And Wednesday afternoon, the camp, as a precaution, asked us to evacuate. Actually, they evacuated all the camps in Idlewild because there's so many kids there, and it takes a while to get everybody off the mountain. So we had buses that came up from Hemet, and my job at camp is a registration coordinator, so I held the master list to make sure we had everybody accounted for. We got ourselves on school buses down to Hemet High School, where we stayed on Wednesday night at their evacuation center at the high school. So we all filed into bleachers with 2 other camps that were up there, and then our advisors took care of us and found a space where the kids could crash on the floor. They put mats down for us and lots of pizza. And, we all had maybe a couple hours of sleep. Some didn't have, our advisors didn't sleep at all, just to make sure everything was safe and secure. And in the meantime, the minister from the Palm Desert Church of Center for Spiritual Living had been in contact with Keith Cox, who's the head of our youth programs, and said, why don't you guys all come here? And we'll disperse everybody home and figure out what we need to do next, but we want to come take care of you. So we got back on buses on Thursday morning and got everybody over to the Center for Spiritual Living in Palm Desert. We all filed into their whole sanctuary, which we filled up the sanctuary. There's 340 of us. I forgot to mention that. And the minister's next door neighbor owns a couple of Italian restaurants, so they had food for us. They provided space. We went on with the whole camp experience, which one of us are going to talk about. As many people, and by the way, we left all of our luggage. We only took our really important stuff. So the people from the camp went back up on Thursday and piled in all of our luggage, the best that they could. So late Thursday night, all the luggage was kind of tried to be sorted as best as possible. Josh and I needed to stay as part of the head of the leadership team, but Kirsten and Marlene took all the kids home, and in fact the kids all went home without their luggage because we wanted to make sure that Kirsten and Marlene could drive safely them home. It was been a long couple of days. So I piled all their luggage in the best they could and brought it home on Friday, where we got other people on buses so they could get plane flights back, and some people stayed in hotels till Saturday because their plane didn't go out until Saturday. Camp was supposed to end yesterday, so most people were home either Thursday or Friday. And not all of our kids got their luggage. We have one who's waiting for luggage on Tuesday because it got left at camp, and others who couldn't find their stuff. And so it's been a really long process, but through the whole process, very well protected, taken care of. We were always safe, always taking the next step, and our kids were just amazing. So they're going to tell you a little bit more about their camp experience. Who wants to go first?
Hi, I'm Kaylee, and I want to share that we did a workshop called Leave Your Baggage right before we literally left our baggage. And it was a workshop that worked on letting go of emotional baggage. And at the end of that workshop, right after we let go of that emotional baggage, we said this affirmation all together as a family. Knowing I am perfect, whole, and complete, I let the past go and take the first step to moving forward in my life.
Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm going to talk about families. We get into these family groups each camp, and it consists of usually 2 advisors and about 6 teens. And what you do is you do workshops together, and you get an emotional connection and a bonding like a real family. And I had one of the best families, I think, ever at these camps. So I was really happy with my family this year.
Hi, I'm Crystal, and I think I'm the newest teen here. And I'm going to be talking about the workshop, It Takes One to Know One. And I think the most powerful part of the workshop is when we had to write on mirrors what we thought of ourselves. And everyone showed their mirror, and your face just reflected on it. And whatever they wrote on their mirror is what they saw in you and what you saw in them. So it was pretty powerful for everybody, and it was a great workshop.
Hi, I'm Ashlyn. This camp was my first being an advisor, going from being a teen since I was 12, preteen, and up until I'm 19, almost 20 right now. And I think the hardest part about being an advisor was the expectation of how I was as a teen, like really wanting to just like dive right into it, and like to being an advisor and just that patience to allow whatever process, like other teens are different, and allowing just to hold that space for them and to just facilitate was so wonderful, to be able to like let go of expectation and just be in the camp. Everything was to not be expected, and I think that was the biggest thing that I got out of that. Just like let the love flow.
Hi, I'm Duke, and I'm going to talk about cabin bonding. I think it was the night before we were evacuated. We did some cabin bonding. As far as I know, the girls made these cool little glitter and water-filled jars, calming jars, that are very enjoyable to shake around and just look at. And the guys did a scavenger hunt, which ended up not being what we expected. The people who did 0 things won, which was disappointing. And later that night, someone said, "Peace to me is knowing that all my hard work will be paid off." My cabin was just like, no. It was very fun. It was my first summer camp, so it was my favorite camp of all. And
Hi, I'm Josh, and I'm one of the 9 teen leaders of the International Centers for Spiritual Living Teen Leadership Team. I am one of the 3 who got to be up on stage all the time and lead the teens. And it was really such an amazing experience for me. And when we evacuated, the first thing I did was break down, crying my eyes out, because I had put so much work into this, and I had wanted my friends who were new, or my friends who were going through a hard time, to be able to experience all of camp. And when being evacuated, it really taught me that I really just need to let go and know that all of this is happening for the perfect reason. I had a dream a few months back where everybody in camp was sleeping in this big round room it was just the weirdest thing, and then all of a sudden it happened, and I was like, huh. And I knew that this really was meant to happen, and I knew that, and I've known this even before I even got to camp. And having this whole experience really taught me to let go of my physical baggage, my emotional baggage, and be able to step back from a leadership standpoint at some points and let myself just be a teen and be able to follow whatever I needed to do to keep everybody safe.
Hi, I'm Carissa, and what I'm going to talk about is something that was really, really special. We had this night where it was called One Love Night, and what it really was an interfaith night. And what the leadership team did was they invited teens from different faiths and fully sponsored them to come and experience this camp with us. And so they did all of the workshops with us. They had their own families, and what they did was they had a night to kind of clear up any misconceptions about their religion and how they felt about any of their beliefs and whether they agreed with it or not. And I thought that was really touching because a lot of them believe exactly what we believe, and that just shows this whole thing was based on one love because we are all connected under this one mind, and it was so cool. And then after, when they all finished their talks and answered questions, we had this beautiful thing where we went into the Peace Center. And we had this man come up and he led this rhythmic activity. We literally had a bunch of percussion instruments, and it didn't matter what we had done the night or earlier that night. We just played our instruments and we just danced and sang, and it was just really amazing. And I thought that was the coolest experience I've ever had at camp, and it was just amazing. And I love One Love Night. So.
Hi, I'm Ryan, and so after we evacuated camp, we were all at the Palm Desert Center. So when we were there, we had the talent show. And we had a talent show, and then we also usually have a hoot nanny, which is basically just everyone goes and does skits and stuff and tries to make you laugh. So this year, we didn't do that. We had a talent nanny hootin' show. Which was sort of a combination of the two, and that was really fun. But it's in front of 350 kids, so people get nervous and scared. So whenever that happens, we just go like this and rub our hands together and then hold it out to them and give them our love.
So I just want to thank everybody for supporting the teens in going to camp and having a great camp experience. Thank you all.
And I just want to add the support that we felt from our church through this whole process was amazing. I mean, we had in contact with parent. Thank God for cell phones, because kids were in contact with their parents were calling us, and then Reverend Patty was our contact, so I called her and said, can you be our conduit so we don't have to call each parent individually? And she said absolutely, and so we could just call her and say, this is our next step, because we never knew our next step. So as soon as we did, we called Patty. She made sure parents knew, and we just felt loved and supported throughout the whole thing. So thank you so very much.
Really inspirational. It's really inspirational to hear these ageless beings. At the other end of the spectrum, usually I talk about ageless beings as being on the other end, but these ageless beings that are filled with spirit and wisdom and love, rising up and giving their gifts and giving them so easily and well. I have a little tiny 7-second clip I'd like to show you. So we need sound.
1, 2, 3, catch.
And sometimes that's how it is. We're like puppies, and we're doing the best we can, but when we get that information, that internal dialogue, the voice within that is absolute pure love, the thing to do, last week, what did I say, 15 minutes 15 minutes, journaling, meditation, journaling, praying. Meditation, 5 minutes each one. That's such a good start. And so this week I'm saying do that same thing. Add a minute. Add a minute. That's how practice extends. One of the things that was a curiosity to me this week, some of you won't even know who this is, but one of my favorite songwriters in the 60s and 70s was Chris Christopherson. I loved the lyrics. The lyrics were always emotionally moving to me. They touched me deeply. And, I bought the songbook. I, have all the music and stuff. And for some reason, I downloaded one of his albums, probably his only album, and was listening to it. And every time Why Me came on, which is a song about so help me Jesus, I've wasted it all. Help me Jesus, my soul's in your hands. And I would burst into tears. And I'm going, this is really puzzling. This is not really what you believe. And so I'd listen again, and I'd again burst into tears. The message was simply this, and I had a wonderful discussion with my prayer partner about it. And Ernest Holmes says, I put it in both meditations because I wanted you to hear it. He says, yes, the way that the universe works is impeccable law. But the presence is infinite tenderness. The presence is infinite tenderness. It's unconditioned and unconditional love. And we should not throw out that tenderness because we're depending on the law. We need to have both. Both are important. Ernest says love points the way. Law makes the way happen. And the love is your desires. So when you have an emotional reaction to something, get out your journal and write about it. See what you discover about yourself. And what I discovered was I was really longing for that personal connection with the divine, which is, by the way, how I began my spiritual journey, was with a personal connection. I know it, I feel it, so I'm just saying, add 1 minute, that's all you need to do to practice. And, I'm still not very good at catching a ball, a beanbag, a football, any of those things. But drop a credit card anywhere near me and left or right hand, I've got that baby. And that's fine with me. It's absolutely fine with me. The metaphor is great. I thought about being a kid and learning to play catch. And Canada's the same as America. Everything's about ball games of one kind or another. And so everyone's expected to know these, to have this practice. And it's fun for most people. I bet you all of those, you've raised your, it was fun. Maybe still is. That's the same with your spiritual practice. At first, it might blow you over. At first, you might not get it. It might be nothing. Like I'm sure that puppy had no idea what he was supposed to do with that thing that was being thrown at him. But just keep doing the practice. Trust that infinite presence that made you, absolutely knows you intimately, has never judged you, has never blamed you, has only said, this is my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. And so, my beloved ones, practice catch. Catch the Spirit. And so it is. Thank you so much. And now I welcome back